You do realize you just destroyed half of Metro City Port.
I kind of see it as the port is half not destroyed.
This happened because you weren't doing the same undercover student thing you did the first time. Do the same thing. Everyone's happy.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. We're all here. Ben, Alonso, Christy, and Matt. One of the blurbs for 22 Jump Street that is running, I can't see who it is because they leave those up for that long.
Probably Sean Edwards. I'm just going to.
It was not Sean Edwards. It was a name I didn't recognize.
Oh, okay.
And says it's the funniest sequel ever. And, you know, normally, and so I was thinking, you know what, it's possible that that's true.
It's funnier than Godfather Part 2.
It is.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes. This finds the Corleone oh, wait. No, this is a movie about the next mission from our heroes from 21 Jump Street. But rather than go back to high school, this time they're in college. All of the same thing happens, and the movie kind of knows it. Let's watch the trailer.
What are you doing?
I got a new identity that's gonna be killer. We need you to improvise.
I suck at improvising. I don't want to do it.
Yo, Sleepy, what's up, homie? Everyone's saying that barrio Sleepy, he like the Mexican Wolverine. Why you not talking? My name is Jeff. That's Jefe, man.
Look, you gotta take your thing to the next level, guys.
Spring break. Did you not see that I was going first?
Excuse you.
Go ahead. A grenade.
You never know.
Oh, why are you gonna put it there?
Feels right.
You remember me? I'm your best nightmare. I'm your worst nightmare.
Movie is so fun. It was a totally needless first movie, right? So the sequel is also totally needless, and they know that, and they have so much fun with that in so many clever ways. I laughed the whole way through. I had a blast.
And the clever ways that they do, sort of referencing the idea of big budget summer sequels, like they managed to find what I really feel like is a very small, narrow pathway between they're not totally stepping, they're not breaking the fourth wall.
Right, it's
they're
not completely meta.
Right, they're not sort of winking at, they're winking, but they're not acknowledging that, hey, this is a sequel and this is stupid. They always bring it back to the context of a police investigation, while talking sort of subtextually about the fact that it's a sequel. And it never failed. It was funny every single time they did it.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of two things going on at the same time, whether it's, you know, we're making fun of sequels and we're doing a cop story, or we are establishing ourselves as a gay couple, but we're not really a gay couple. You know, there's a lot of parallel tracks and sort of multiple meanings to lines here, and it is nonstop funny. I mean, there is maybe one bit where they're sort of going from Act 2 to Act 3 where it's kind of like, all right, pick up the pace, but that's like maybe 2 minutes. The rest of the movie is just bam, 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 funny, funny, funny.
And it's the same guys who made the Lego movie, which I think similarly knows it's a movie, right? The Lego movie is very, very aware of its structures and its conventions, and this movie is as well. Similarly, you cannot watch this once, I don't think, and get every single joke. It's so fast.
It's funny, I missed the Lego movie. I sat in on when we reviewed it, and I thought, oh man, I got to see this movie, and then I, of course, naturally forgot.
Is that on DVD this week?
Well, and now that you've told me that, it reminded me that it's the same guys. I'm like, oh, it's got to be. Now, once again, I'm sort of
Chris Miller and Phil Lord are the directors here.
Friday with a Chance of Meatballs also, if you haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think this movie's a little bit more obvious in kind of acknowledging that it's a sequel and a movie more than the Lego movie is, but this is a fantastic movie. I feel like this movie's kind of in the same space as Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy in that they're, Edgar Wright's really good at spoofing a certain genre and still making an effective movie in that genre. And Hot Fuzz is probably the best example of that. Hot Fuzz spoofs all of the tropes of over-the-top action cop movies, and it's still a good over-the-top action cop movie. That's what this movie does too. It's kind of the American version of that. This is fantastic. I love the end. I don't want to spoil what the ending was.
You mean during the credits, you mean?
Yeah.
Stay for the credits, please.
Absolutely stay for the credits. It's so good.
And so that's the end. And the opening is fantastic. Like right off the bat, like I get very little hype. I do a nice job of preventing hype from penetrating my feeble brain. And it worked here because I was like, this will be stupid. Right? And right off the bat, it opens with previously on 21 Jump Street. And I thought, oh, wow, that's like, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it's kind kind to its characters, right? I mean, it makes fun of college idiocy. And even the guy who was the quarterback who Channing Tatum has this like bromance with, he's not an awful guy.
No,
I mean, he's like decent and goofy and probably an idiot, but he recognizes like the importance of the Jonah Hill friendship. And
even his friend, who should be the bigger idiot, the henchman of the idiot you're supposed to believe the quarterback is going to be, and is jealous of the non-sexual gay relationship that Channing Tatum has like 4 in the movie. And that guy is also treated kindly. Like it's sort of it's the best of all of us without an ounce of schmaltziness, of course, ever in a movie like this. Like I think it's a great point because they, you're set up to believe certain things about these guys, and then it just doesn't happen.
Right.
He's just kind of a dopey, long-haired quarterback at the school, but he loves his friends and he's good to them and he's a decent guy and he'd like to play football and lift weights.
I got some shit for not loving Anchorman 2, which I think is another movie that is operating of the you can't go for 45 seconds without some sort of gag, But I felt like that movie, those gags all occurred in a vacuum. They weren't really building towards anything. Whereas this movie, the jokes are smart. Things get called back. They set things up later. Like it's very intricately kind of put together and solidly funny. So it's not just these kind of out of nowhere ha-has, but then they don't add up to anything. This is a brilliantly structured and very, very funny movie.
It's cohesive.
I can't believe it's incredibly sophisticated.
It is.
Because you can't just throw this sort of stuff together. Like you have to. There's an architectural map for this.
But very quickly, I know you want to get in. But very quickly, it's sophisticated. But you don't. It doesn't matter whether you've seen or remember the first.
Oh God, no.
No, it doesn't. But it's sophisticated. Ironically, when one of the main characters is so stupid. Like they make Channing Tatum's character really dumb, and he plays that so well.
Yeah, he's good.
I wasn't a huge fan of Channing Tatum until I had seen 21 Jump Street, and that's where I turned the corner on it. And this reinforces that. I think he's turning into, or we're seeing what he's really capable of. I want to see him do kind of these more action comedies. I love the reference to Olympus Has Fallen. I love that.
White House down. White House down.
How could you make that mistake?
They're so different.
No, there was that. That was amazing. Just a 1-2 second quick line reference to White House Down.
And the Ice Cube joke, the way they introduced Ice Cube is very, very funny. Also, we should mention Amber Stevens is the beautiful young lady, the art student that Jonah Hill has the fling with. You know who she is? She's Shadow Stevens' daughter.
Get out.
Yes.
That's why Shadow Stevens was at our screening.
Yes, okay, that all makes sense. He was,
Really? Anyway, she's a dog. She's gorgeous and like lovely. Has a great presence about her.
She was very good.
Definitely.
Everybody was good.
Fun cameos. I will say, I still think the funniest sequel is Gremlins 2: The New Batch, but I would put this right up there.
But I liked Anchorman 2. I certainly liked it more than you, but these movies are in a different league. Like this one hits it out of the park. I thought Anchorman 2 was a nice sequel. I thought this was outstanding.
Except for the other movie we're going to talk about, this movie sets the bar so high for sequels that any other sequel we see this summer, it's like, oh, wow.
And this week is the good sequels.
Let me, obviously I'm going to direct this to you. There's a discussion, a thoughtful, funny discussion, because Channing Tatum, while he's in college, is taking like a human sexuality course. And it deals with language, and then college kids use the F word. And then he goes off on the guy. It's very funny. And because he's exactly the kind of guy who would have grown up using that word.
He was.
No, he says, did I? He goes, did you know this is a slur? He goes, yes, you used it on me.
I was going to ask you this question too.
Right. But so.
And I'm the arbiter of his
right, you were the spokesperson for every gay person ever.
Tasteless is not even worth that. Definitely, I don't think it was tasteless. It was interesting that we see it. Most people will see this movie on opening weekend. While there's still some freshness to Jonah Hill.
The Jonah Hill apology tour.
And it's his story. He came up with this story, which is, as I said, really sophisticated. So did that resonate in any way?
I remember having to defend the first movie because you thought they used the F word too much, and I thought they were making.
Did I?
Yeah, we go back and look at our review. I thought
I don't watch our show.
I remember defending that movie, saying that that in the first film they're making fun of the fact that insecure young guys use that kind of language, and they're taking the piss by mocking the use of that language. And I think here they're kind of mocking the idea of that sort of, hyper intense, college freshman who's just learned something and is now really going to be, angry about it or whatever. No, I think these movies are really smart about that stuff.
They deal with, there's this running bit where they treat Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum's friendship like a true romance. Like, I'm going to break up and see other people.
Oh, yeah,
and
no.
it's really delicate and really smart.
No, exactly.
True,
like I said, there's two things going on, right? They kind of ride that line. They even go to couples therapy at one point, which I thought was hilarious.
So
but,
clever.
I mean, wasn't that an entire show about like two cop partners who didn't get along who got sent to couples therapy, like on Fox or something? Anyway, I think this movie sort of rides the line of taking the bromance idea as far as you can go with it without actual, physicality.
But it's sweet. Like, it's not making fun of it. There's no like gay flourishness
it is
It's
a
kind.
sort of championing of male friendship and acknowledging that the most devoted of male friendships can sort of spill over into looking like being a gay couple, even if they're not. You know,
for what it is, like I gave it a 9, right? But for what it is, like it's sort of a 10. Like, I don't want to, like, the only thing keeping me from giving it a 10 is that I can't give 22 Jump Street a 10.
Why not? I gave Lego Movie a 10.
But then, so I'm thinking, like, and I'm thinking back to, to, I guess it's what we all use, but Ebert's explanation, you obviously don't, we don't view this movie through the same prism as we do, smart grown-up movies. I literally, for that example, I couldn't think of the title of one other movie ever made. I was like,
what
shall
is Schindler's List?
Yeah, right, exactly, thank you. Yeah.
I'm thinking your grandfather wrote one of them.
I don't know. Okay, fine. I was trying to be a little more contemporary. That movie in the last 10 years. Nothing. Draw the blank.
I will say this. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give this movie a 10, but it is, if you're judging a movie based on like, here's the target that it's aiming for, I mean, it hits it square on.
So you give it a 9, you're giving it a...
I'm giving it a 9.
I'm giving it a 9.
I've talked myself into it. I'm going to give it a 9.8.
Good for you.
Okay.
Good for you. Okay, this means math.
No, we're now a 9.2.
We're a 9.2, yeah.
Are you still saying 9? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's great and it's
in
fun.
the 80s on the tomato meter because some people
Who doesn't like this movie?
Yeah, then, so yeah, 9.2 for 22 Jump Street there. But and we didn't say that Jonah Hill's great too, but he is. He's terrific.
Oh, yeah. No, the two of them are a great team. I would love to see them.
It'd be nice if they made more movies.
Absolutely,
They're really good together.
Bye.